Losing is not an option with me. Not being successful is not an option. When you make not being successful, it's not an option for you, that's when your life is gonna change. Some of y'all are complacent and you cool with not being successful. I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with having a team that's not successful. I'm not cool with not having an offense or defense or special teams that's not successful. That's not an option to be defeated. I don't live my life like that. These coaches don't live their lives like that. You shouldn't live your life like that. If you find yourself around something that's consistently losing, you need to disconnect. Or you need to really look in the mirror and find out, are you the darn problem?
When I wake up in the morning, I don't think, am I motivated to go do what I'm supposed to do? No, I don't think about it for 1 millisecond. When the alarm clock goes off, I have no thought about whether this is easy, whether this is hard, whether I want to do it, whether I don't want to do it. None of that matters. It's an emotionless, thoughtless discipline. When the alarm clock goes off, you get up, you get out of bed, and you go do what you're supposed to do. I don't care how it feels. I don't care if it's easy or hard. It doesn't even matter to me. It's just a reaction, it's a discipline, and it's life. And that's the way I choose to live my life.
So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself.
You're one decision away from changing. You are one decision away from changing. It's a decision away. You're one decision away from changing your life.
You have to look straight ahead and not look over here at your worries and your fears. If you start to stare at these fears, you move towards them. You got to stay focused on where you're going, not the wall.
I'm already working all of the hours that I'm awake, and I've already given up Saturdays. So the only thing that I have left is like Sundays and evenings. I am no longer going to be watching any football, and I'm no longer going to have Netflix at all. And that is what I'm giving up for 7, 8, 9, and 10. Because if you sacrifice everything, there's nothing left than to do the one thing that matters.
The ability to learn is a gift even when pain is your teacher. Don't miss the lesson. Get the lesson when you fail. Get the lesson when you come up short. Get the lesson when it don't go your way. Get the lesson when you don't get what you want. Get the lesson when they don't say to you what you expected to hear. Get the lesson then.
And I think one of the most powerful things that you can cultivate when you cultivate partnership with yourself is being able every single day to have a level of trust in your life, in the magic of things, in yourself, to know that this moment right now is also a dot on the map of your life. And 5, 10, 20 years from now, you will look back on this moment and you will know exactly why this happened. And why it happened is it was preparing you for something. It was giving you a skill or an experience or some wisdom or a relationship that you're gonna need for something extraordinary that's coming. And when you believe that, it gives you the strength to face absolutely anything.
You've got to stay focused on where you're going, on the race ahead, not the wall of your life. There's going to be a wall the entire time, and that wall is trying to get you to look at it so that you'll subconsciously begin to move off your game, move off your vision, move off your dream, and into the wall and crash.
Eventually, inaction will cost you. Just get up, move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
Because oftentimes we get the lesson when it plays in our favor. We get the lesson when it goes our way. We get the lesson when we get the victory. Get the lesson when you came up short. Do you watch the film when you failed? Do you watch the film when you got beat? Do you watch the film when you got, I'm talking about, destroyed? Get the lesson then.
There's no luck in this game, man. There may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might fucking happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man.
The most important question to ask is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Anything worthwhile is going to require some degree of pain and struggle. So, if you're oriented toward the pain and the struggle, you're probably going to be more aligned with what you're capable of accomplishing, rather than if you just orient toward the pleasures.
Do you want it or do you not want it? Do you want to become what it is you want to become, or do you want to sit there and think about what it is you could have became? Those are your options. And guess what? You're going to get made fun of both ways. So grow the up, get a backbone, understand it's the price of admission, use it for fuel to move forward, and go kick some ass.
Most people in life don't win because of the smoke or the wall, not because they weren't capable, not because it wasn't there for them to take. And a lot of them quit right before they're about to make it. So many people have made a deposit and a deposit and a deposit, and they don't wait around to make the withdrawal. because it didn't happen quick enough for them. It didn't happen when they thought. It's going to be harder than you think and take longer than you think. And third, it'll be more worth it than you think.
There's so much opportunity on the other side of being willing to persist for an extended period of time on the correct path without getting positive reinforcement from your environment. And the longer you can stick with something without that positive feedback loop in terms of the big external thing, the easier the opportunities are because so few people can pursue them.
If you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? And you got to teach yourself that.
The world needs your story. The world needs your example. The world needs everything that you are. It needs you to go out and become your ultimate potential. It needs you to become the personal excellence example so that everybody else knows what the that looks like.
There's going to be things in your life that you don't have control over. There's things that you can control. There's things you can't control. Now, I will tell you that human beings can control a lot more than they think they can. Oftentimes, it's pretty easy just to say, oh, that's not me. That's not on me. And I think that's the whole genesis of the idea of extreme ownership is most of the time, or much of the time, people say that's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about that. And more often than people think, there is something you can do about it. And you can, and it is your fault.
If you really want to grow and if you really want to get the lesson, allow your children and allow the people that you love to speak to you and be honest with you about the ways that you've hurt them. And don't say nothing back.
I believe most of the great things in life are done in silence. And when you get quiet, you can listen to your spirit. You can listen to your heart. God speaks to our hearts. And the adversary, the devil, whatever you believe in, speaks in our mind. And when we can get alone, our heart opens, our spirit opens.
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
If you don't see results in the first 2 days or the first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. The struggle is too real. We're not patient. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, if you whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You're gonna hit so many fucking plateaus. If you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not gonna happen fast.
You know, you got to take ownership of what's going on in your life. When you're not where you want to be, and you say it's because the boss doesn't like you, or it's because the girl treated you this way, or the guy did this, like all those things, you got to take ownership of.
Yeah.
And if you're blaming all these other external things, you're not going to make any changes. And that's going to be a problem.
There isn't anything better that you can do with failure, no matter how unjust, than to learn from it. And so as a general attitude, how did I go wrong here is a hyper useful existential stance, right? And it's also a bulwark against hopelessness, because, you know, even if it was 95% situational and 5% you, if you adjusted that 5%, maybe that'd be enough so that the next time that situation arises, you'd come out on the positive side of it.
No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
You have to understand, you can sit there and you can analyze and you can think and you can consume and you can learn all day long. But until you actually put pen to paper and start to really build shit in your own life and execute, none of that's going to matter. And when you paralyze yourself from taking action, you are creating a loss by default. So it is much better to take imperfect action than to do nothing perfectly.
The more you sit and the more you wait and the more time you spend with that adversity, with the upper hand inside your head, the worse it's gonna get.
If you wanna be great, you wanna be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're gonna be misunderstood by everybody, because you're gonna be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes. It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of fucking people. It is. But if you want to fucking go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you fucking do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where fucking people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the fucking gym at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning? You just got to doing an op for fucking 13, 14 hours at the Ranger School, man, at the gym. What is wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so fucking glad you don't. Because I'm in the right fucking spot. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive. Where people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're not going to get it.
if somebody says you're crazy, you are crazy. Everybody that's done something special in this world, right? You didn't go from 4,000 square feet to 40 or 44,000, whatever it is, if you thought like everybody else. You had to be crazy. How many people told you that? You're going from what to what? No, go a little smaller, just maybe double in size. I said, no, this is what we're going to do. Being crazy is a compliment. When somebody says you're crazy, that means you see things that other people can't see. Everybody that's done something special in life, they've all been criticized for being crazy. It's a compliment. When somebody says you're crazy, you're nuts, I said, yes, I am.
You don't get what you want. You get what you are. You've got to become what you want. You've got to realize that the minute you hold your mind in harmony with the good you want, then you've already got it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form. You've got it intellectually, and you can talk to somebody about it. You've got it emotionally, you can share your feelings. It's only a period of time till it moves into form. That's called the perpetual transmutation of energy. That is a law, the first law of the universe.
Taking action, making something happen. It doesn't have to be huge, but if you say, hey, listen, this is what happened, didn't go the way we wanted it to, we're gonna get our gear back on, we're gonna go back out.
You could choose right now to become the kind of person that is going to invest all of their time, all of their resources, all of their energy into becoming the person that lives the ideal vision that you have for your life. And it's going to be hard, really hard. You're going to have to make investments that other people your age and your position are not going to be making. And they're going to judge you, and they're going to make fun of you, and they're going to laugh at you. And you're going to have to keep going, because if you don't, you'll never realize that version of yourself.
This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it. It sucks. It just fucking sucks. And that's the one thing, if I could teach anybody anything, it just fucking sucks. And it's gonna continue to suck. And then one day you'll get to a special part in your life that it might get a little bit better.
A lot of people are afraid to even try hard, because then if you try hard and you fail, you feel like a failure. But the aspect of being a failure doesn't come from the success in the end. It comes from if you really quit on yourself, or if you don't put in the effort you know you can put in, and you're kind of holding back on your true potential. That's when I think you really deep down feel like a failure. Like,
character's not something we inherit, regardless of who our parents were, regardless of where we were raised, regardless of how we came up. Nobody can inherit character. It can't come to you when you're born and say, you got character. You got to build that.
And it's in your personal life too. Something doesn't go the way you wanted it to go. You didn't get the job you wanted. You didn't get the hire. You didn't get the promotion. You can go home and sit there and dwell on it. That's not getting you any progress. Or you say, okay, you know what? Let me do a quick analysis. Why didn't I get that promotion? What do I need? Let me look into how do I get to jump through that gate so next time I will get the promotion, and you start taking action.
Your dreams and thoughts better be so big that they better scare you. They better scare you.
Why?
Because you're not thinking big enough then. You don't want it. It has to be something that nobody else has thought about before or done before.
This is the hardest part. If you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill. It's not that the things that the dragons are going to slay aren't going to get bigger. They are. But you become so much more equipped to slay them back. And you have so many more allies. You have people in the stands cheering for you. You have the audience. You have all of these other things that are behind you. But in the beginning, it's just you with a stick against a bear. Arguably, that fight is a harder fight to win than beating a dragon when you have a nuclear bomb and 6 nations behind you. And so it's not even like the size of the hardship, it's just also the resources and how few of them you have, and how so much of the beginning is literally burning the one thing you have, which is time, because you have no leverage. You don't have the money to pay other people to help you. You don't have the resources to go get someone no one can learn it for you. It's like there's a lot of the things that we care about a lot. Like, no one can work out for you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. No one can learn skills for you. And so in the early days, it feels so painful because you're like, you look around to see who can help you, and then you're like, fuck, it's me again. I think getting comfortable with the idea that each of these things, those early days, that little trench winning in the weeds, oftentimes gives you these huge advantages later on because you have more context than anyone else. And so rather than lament them and hate the fact that you're going through it, remembering that these will be arrows that you put in the quiver that you're going to be using to slay the future bigger dragons.
And you're going to fail, 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 and then you're going to win. And that's life.